Beach Talk Radio.
Lee County Commissioner Ray Sandelli.
I wanted to thank you because when I started on this path from the governor, one of the first things I did was your podcast, and it was a lot of fun. And you asked me questions that made me think about what people wanted.
Beach Talk Radio.
Jim Nickel, I did want to take a moment while I'm here to say thank you very much for your kind words during that election. I didn't have a chance to come up and say thank you right afterwards, and I do appreciate the opportunity to say that.
Beach Talk Radio.
Federal Judge Steve Mcguire is here.
Well, first of all, let me say thank you for having me on the show. It's always great to be in Fort Myers Beach, and I'm honored to ask to be a part of such an acclaimed program.
Beach Talk Radio.
Dr. Wayne Edson.
I just want to say, Ed, that I support your show. I think you're providing a great service to Fort Myers Beach. Our local politicians may not always feel that way, but hang in there, because I learned a long time ago, politicians are temporary.
They put the B in business. This is Beach Talk Radio.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. This is your captain speaking, Mean Gene. Mean Gene. The following will be a test of the ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
And good morning, everybody, and welcome to episode number 177. Year number 3 kicks off. And we want to welcome you to Pete's Time Out here. This is the number 1 show on Fort Myers Beach, the number 1 radio show. We are live in our Pete's Time Out studios. And we want to thank all of our great sponsors before we kick off this show. There's so much to talk about. I'm totally confused about where we want to start. But I do want to start with our fabulous sponsors. As the lovely sidekick continues to play with the camera, she hasn't sat in the seat until 30 seconds ago, and now she's touching everything. I've been here since 7 o'clock setting things up, and she's touching everything.
Well,
Stop touching things.
Please.
Look, the sign, look at this shit already. The sign's falling down. She's been sitting in the seat for 1 minute. 1 minute. Please, can I read the sponsors?
Remember what we talked
All
about
right.
this
Yeah.
morning?
Well, look at you. You're ruining the studio
You're
for crying
ruining
out
the
loud.
event for people.
And a big thank you to the Best Western, Island Oils, Fort Myers. Now, listen, when I say the names of these businesses, you write them down at home, because when you come to the beach, you want to solicit them. Is that the right word? You want to patronize them. You want to be there and say, listen, I heard them talking about you on the number 1 radio show on Fort Myers Beach. So please give me a discount. No, don't say that. Please pay double. All right. So it's the Best Western, Island Oils, Fort Myers Tiki Tours, Nervous Nellies, Mangoritas. Sanibel Carts is back with us. Yes, I saw the folks from Sanibel Carts on Wednesday. State Insurance USA. I think I saw a Blake last night at the event. Somebody looked like him, and I looked over and I said, that looks like Blake. Maybe I should go up to talk to him, but I wasn't 100% sure because his mustache was a little longer than usual, dear. So I stayed back. I didn't go up there and say, are you Blake? Sun Palace Vacations, La Ola Restaurant, Tuckaway Cafe, Blue Ribbon Events, Beach Pottery, Shuckers, and of course, Pete's Time Out, our home studio. John and Debbie were there, and Debbie said, I'm so sorry. I didn't say happy birthday to your wife when I saw her the other night. I said, well,
I think she did. She did. Everybody was very nice.
I said, she came home crying because you didn't say happy birthday, and she was so upset. Her feelings were so hurt.
Yeah, right.
And then I made her cry. So there you go. So coming up later, of course, we have movie trivia. We're back to normal here. We have 2 tickets to give away to the Beach Theater, which is located on Estero Boulevard here. And before we get to our first guest, Popeye, and we're going to talk about Popeye Palooza. Not yet. Stay. He's very crazy over there. He's ready to come on the show.
You need to chill out.
You've been telling me to calm down all morning, dear. Sometimes, I wish you would just let me be me.
No, nobody needs that.
Did you notice my new lid?
You need some sort of medication.
Have you noticed my new lid?
Yeah, it makes you look like you have an unusually large and elongated head.
I just want everybody to know that I snuck this out last night.
Yes, so go ahead. You keep saying last night. It was
yesterday. I know. Well, for me, it was last night. It was from 3 to 6 p.m. That to me, that's like last night.
So go
I
ahead,
snuck
talk
it
about
out
it.
under the under my I had a shirt. Now let me back up so I can tell you about how I got the shirt. So they had, a nice setup under the tent over by the pier view. My story's already going too long for you because I could do the show alone.
I just wonder why you have me sit down so early because you barely
I
let
like
me
to bounce
get a
things
word
off
in.
you.
No,
because
you're not.
it's just you and I talking, dear. Nobody's really
Okay.
paying attention here. So they had 3 shirts, yellow shirts that said Margaritaville on them. And I said to the girl, the lady, can you say girl anymore
No,
before you get
woman.
canceled? I said to the lady, I said, I'd like to buy one of the shirts hanging up there. I don't care what size it is because I had a plan. And she goes, oh, they're not for sale. I said, what do you mean they're not for sale? I said, sell me one of those shirts. There's only 3 of them there. She goes, no. So I slipped her a 20 for the tip jar, and she pulled the shirt off the thing. And of course, I didn't want the shirt to wear the shirt. I wanted it because clearly it's going to be a collector's item.
I see.
Yes, very good, right there. So I went to Tom Torgerson and John Dammerman from TPI, and I found a Sharpie, and I got them to sign the back of the shirt. What's going on here? A little sidebar going on here. And so so I have a yellow shirt with their signatures on it because the 2 years that it's going to take to build the beautiful resort right here in downtown is that's going to be like a collector's item. They're going to say to me one day, I need the shirt to put in. They want to put it in a box. I'm sure they're going to put it in one of those glass things that you like to put your pictures in from the races so you can look at how fabulous you've done. Or maybe that's me. And they're going to hang it somewhere in the lobby of that beautiful resort that's coming up. So I have a shirt and I have the hard hat. And if I could have stole the gold shovel yesterday, I would have stolen the gold shovel. But I didn't see how I could slip that underneath my panties.
Why would you do that?
Because they look pretty cool. So there was that. So the other thing that I want everybody to know is I got a chance to get nice up and close to the event yesterday when they were doing the shovel, and everybody was there. All the bigwigs were there. Your friend Byron Donalds was there, and Cecil Pendergrass showed up from the county, and the town council was there. I think the only one from the town council that wasn't there was Bill because he was out of town. I'm sure he would have been here if he was in town. And everybody was so awesome. And the thing that I want you all to it's just a breaking news thing here is that there was somebody there from Margaritaville, and the guy, I can't remember the guy's name, he said that Jimmy will be here. That's what he said. He didn't say when.
Exactly what he
said Jimmy will be here. Now, he has a way of showing up to cities just out of the blue. Like he'll show up and, maybe he's got a concert going on in Tampa and he might show up. It's like the practice kind of thing. Him and Mac McAnally show up, and Nadira Shakur. Okay. Who's the other? And Tina Gullickson. Who else is in the band?
That's
how many Jimmy Buffett concerts have we gone to together?
Maybe 3.
Maybe
4.
10. Maybe 10.
No.
And maybe it was my other wife then that we went with. And so the guy said that he's just going to show up one day. So that's going to be cool when he does show up.
Do you think you'd recognize him?
No, the first thing I thought when he said that was, well, shit, man, come on, move along, because he's not getting any younger. I mean, the last concert we went to, no offense, Jimmy, or anything, if you're paying attention to our show, is that I think he's to the point now where he might need to read some of the songs because he forgets the words. But I mean, how old do you think he is?
He's up there having a good time. He's
still
moving around.
For sure.
He's still
creating a great brand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all awesome. So keep that in mind.
How dare you?
What? Well, when you get old, come on, we're all going to get old. I'm going to get old and senile before he does. He's in his 70s now, isn't he? Yeah. So the other thing I want to talk about real quick before Popeye comes on and tells us about Palooza is the haters that are out there. Let me address the haters. And there are always going to be haters out there that say that.
And why are you going to address them and bring more attention to it?
I need to pull them into the tent here so I can straighten them out a little bit. So the haters that are out there,
you're never going to change.
You never know, dear. What there's some people that you're never going to change. There are other people that maybe if I give a little information out about some things that are going on that they may not know.
Pretty soon your head really isn't going to fit in that helmet.
I was looking for one of our stickers to put on the sign, but I need to get John and Tom to sign the hat too, so that we can hang it out in the backyard. But I digress. So to the haters, forget about the fact that you don't like the resort or anything like that. I want to talk to the ones that are bitching about the traffic. Like the traffic, somehow the traffic is going to get any worse than it is now. you can't go any slower on Estero Boulevard at certain points. And to think that something is going to make it worse is silly. And so my point, I'm trying to get to the point, dear, because you keep interrupting me, and I'm trying to get to the point. My point is one of the reasons that the traffic is the way it is on Estero Boulevard is because people cross the street everywhere. They don't cross the street at the light only. They cross the street by the Tiki. They cross the street by, every way they can. They just look to the right, look to the left, and they jump across the street. Of course, the drivers want to let the people cross the street because they're trying to be nice because, that's the way people are. Well, they're nice. They're trying to be nice. So they're letting people cross the street.
And if pedestrians have the right of way, then you have to
stop. So what I think should happen is you should take Fort Myers. It's not the town. It's the state that's screwing this up. They should take a lesson from Las Vegas. Have you ever been to Las Vegas? It's in Nevada, in case anyone out there didn't know that. And they like to gamble out there. But Las Vegas Boulevard is filled with businesses, right? You can't cross the street on Las Vegas Boulevard because they have, and the reason I know that is because I go out there just to run. I like to run, dear. So you run on Las Vegas Boulevard and you run on the sidewalk and then you run up the stairs, you cross the street, you run down the stairs. You cannot cross Las Vegas Boulevard like you can cross Estero Boulevard. Now, I'm not saying...
really, that's apples and oranges.
No. Let me get to my point before you rudely interrupt me again.
I hope it's today.
I know, dear. So Las Vegas Boulevard, I don't know if they have concrete pilings. I think they have concrete pilings, but you can only cross the street in certain spots. And what everybody out there listening needs to do is get behind John Goggins' plan. His plan is almost zero ways to cross Estero Boulevard. And the state has like 7 million places to cross. Like every 5 feet, the state, when they do the redesign at the foot of the bridge, nobody's listening to John. Nobody is saying there shouldn't be any crosswalks. Now, Estero Boulevard from one spot to the next spot isn't very far, dear. I wish you would participate in this because it would give it a little bit more credibility.
Get a word in.
But it's not like you're making people walk that far. Pick one spot, and even if you can make them walk across, so there's never anybody crossing the street.
I think there are crosswalks on Estero Boulevard.
Of course there are. I just said that.
Well, then people
There's
just
500
need to
of
follow
them.
the directions and go there.
No, dear. The problem is they don't follow directions. They should put railings up. They should electrocute people if they try to cross the street. Just electrocute one person.
He's
and
being
that's it.
facetious.
Yeah, I don't think the person should die or anything like that. Listen, when we did the Tough Mudder, here's what's going on. Yes, the base of the bridge traffic will be helped that way, except for the state is saying there should be crosswalks like everywhere. And nobody's listening to John.
Right.
He's saying, hey, I'm over here. There shouldn't be any crosswalks. That's what's slowing. You will speed up the traffic. They should raise the speed limit to 70 miles an hour at that point.
That would be unsafe.
Why would it be unsafe? You can't cross the street. Maybe 70 is too high. Maybe it's 40 or something like that.
Can we get on? I think,
All right. Enough of that. So our first guest today, Popeye.
Who now fell asleep.
Yeah, look at him. He's watching. Popeye, wake up. Come on the show.
Yeah.
Enough about...
It actually still is Saturday, the 14th.
All right. Well, I just wanted to make my point that what people should do is they should get involved like they've been getting involved in the water. Give him his microphone, dear. Like they've been getting involved in the water, and we'll talk about the water later. They should get involved in the in supporting John's plan to cancel out those traffic crossings there. There should be one place to cross the street.
You have
one
all
place.
this time to get things ready, and then you give him
Popeye,
the short.
How the hell are you, man?
How we doing today, guys?
Doing great. I see you. You're not wearing your bike billboard shirt. You're now wearing your Popeye Palooza shirt.
Yeah, we're changing the subject a little bit today. Although bike billboards is happily doing much better.
Okay,
we're starting to gain momentum.
Why are you doing the radio voice like that? What is that all about?
Why are you doing it?
Well, you're kind of impersonating me.
Time.
That's kind of my normal voice. That's the way I talk. Yes, I do have a radio voice. If you want me to advertise your business or product, contact me.
Do you do that? I have to tell you, I was driving down here on Wednesday to cover the water meeting because I'm an expert at the water now, much more than my wife. And I saw you riding the bike on the sidewalk.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you were out there huffing and puffing, and you were on your way back to the beach. Well, I mean, it's hot out there, right?
Yeah.
How do you stay hydrated on the bike?
You know what? I can get about 20 miles on a 20-ounce bottle of orange juice in the morning.
Wow.
And just keep a bottle of water with me on the ride.
So the big question that everybody wants to know, they've been texting me and emailing me beforehand. The big question for you is, are you vaccinated?
No.
Okay.
Why are you?
I'm just kidding. They weren't asking that, but
I don't have to answer that, but no, I'm not.
Why did you answer that?
I don't mind answering it.
Why are you not vaccinated?
I'm not going to get the vaccine.
Okay. Because there's no really research on it.
I've shared some
now you
videos
just
with some very interesting research.
Yeah.
And Facebook keeps blocking them, but I'll gladly share it with you and show you what this immunologist has to say about the vaccine.
Can we talk about Popeye Palooza?
Because I'm not really here to talk about vaccines.
Right.
Okay.
So tell us.
I feel safe and healthy.
Tell us
You
the
look safe and
history
healthy.
of Popeye Palooza.
Popeye Palooza is making a comeback. We got shut down by COVID, by the coronavirus, but we have in our 10-year history, we've raised $40,000 for the Fort Myers Beach Youth Sports, the Fort Myers Beach Soccer Club, the Fort Myers Beach Little League, which also covers the girls softball league and t-ball leagues, of course. And I have nothing but the most heartfelt gratitude, appreciation for the Mermaid and Valerie's for getting us started. They kicked us off, started out in my driveway, then we moved into the Mermaid. But what really put us on the map, Lou Kalika, Tim Miller, the Beach Pub, Beach Bar. What a 6-year history run we had there. They put us on the map. They made Popeye Palooza one of the premier events of Fort Myers Beach.
And when is it exactly?
We're going to have Popeye Palooza, interestingly, on October 30th this year. And there's a special reason coming up for that I'm going to tell you about.
All right. Tell them. Don't tell us.
I'm going to tell you people, too.
So what can people expect at Popeye Palooza before you give away any other secrets?
Well, first off, we're enjoying the sponsorship of Shuckers and the Cottage Bar.
Very nice. Brian's great. He's been doing a lot of great stuff.
The location, Brian Nagel, the general manager, he is the impetus of the turnaround of Shuckers and the Cottage. He has done a fantastic job in that restaurant, I have to tell you. And I am very excited about partnering with him. Roxanne Jakaitis
great.
Is going to be helping us running the show in the Cottage. It's going to be a 3-tiered event this year. It's going to be interesting. By the way, how does everybody like my new sunglasses? I finally found a pair of wraparounds that you can wear over your glasses that don't look like you just had cataract surgery.
Nice.
I'm going to take them off now because I'm half blind.
Okay.
All right.
3-tiered.
3-tiered event. I'm going to kind of go backwards here on it. We're going to separate up the main event a little bit and fancy it up a little bit. In the evening, there's going to be a sit-down donation per plate dinner in Shuckers and auction.
Wow.
We're going to do our finer auction on the inside in the evening. I'm hoping to have a classical guitarist playing during the dinner. And because we're in a family-friendly environment now, the leagues have always wanted to get involved and get the kids involved, and I want to have the kids join us too. I'm hoping to have the sports competitors walking around with the auction items during the dinner to let the people look at them while they're eating before the auction.
Would you mind if I played the Star Spangled Banner on my trumpet to start off the event?
I would be so proud if you would do that.
He cannot play. Do not agree to that.
Well, you see, I've got a special invitation coming up that you guys are going to be hopefully jumping on anyway. So you'll be there at the beginning of the event.
Nice.
Now, the second part is going to be
Are we going to be paid for being there, or
no? Actually, you're going to be paying me.
Oh, shit.
And you're going to be glad to do it.
Okay.
Now, part 2 is going to be the traditional 6-hour rock and roll party barbecue event going to be held at the Cottage Bar. Shuckers will handle the food this year. I've been doing the catering myself for many years. It's about time I turned that over to somebody else. That is a lot.
Right. Because how many people did you make sick at your barbecue?
Well, there's this pandemic going around.
Yeah.
For some reason, after Popeye Palooza came around, I don't know.
Are you going to ask people for a vaccine card or?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
There's a lot of that going around.
This is Florida. This is Florida. We won the pandemic. Get over it.
We refer to DeSantis as future President DeSantis on this show.
Washington can have him in 2028. We need him in Florida for now.
That is true. We would like him to stick around.
And a certain other very popular former president is already planning on running. So let's go with that.
Let's not get into the Trump thing.
Now back to Popeye Palooza.
Yes.
Again, the traditional barbecue. The kids want the leagues want to be involved. The kids want to be involved. I want to have them involved in such a way as it's going to be a spectacular parade in the middle of the event. This will go on from noon to 6. We'll have 4 bands playing during the day, I'm sure.
All at
we
the same
always
time?
have. Not all at the same time.
Oh, one after another. Where are they going to be
And
playing?
we do our raffles in between the band sets. There will be Chinese auctions going on also on some of the finer items before the nighttime auction.
You've imported stuff from China to auction off.
No, that's a figurative term to describe how they do it.
Yeah, Ed, want to come over here. And
Are you allowed to say Chinese auction without getting canceled?
Absolutely.
What is a Chinese auction?
A Chinese auction is where you put a bunch of items up on a table and you put like a bin or bag in front of them, and you sell raffle tickets. Now, these kind of items will be the more top end. People will pay $5 a ticket and drop as many tickets as they want.
Like what's top end from China?
It's not from China. Ed. This is Fort Myers Beach.
What's top end from Fort Myers Beach?
You got to get off China.
Sorry,
you got Corona. You got to get off politics.
Sorry. What is
a Chinese auction? Is just a simple way of letting people bid on items using tickets.
Gotcha.
Okay, they buy a ticket. They drop as many tickets as they want in the item that they want.
I wonder why China got that name for that auction.
It's an ancient thing, and I don't know or care. I'm back on Popeye Palooza.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
If you just ignore him and just continue on, you'll be good.
Now, again, I want to get the league involved. I want to get the kids involved. They're able to be there. So what they're going to do is I'm going to organize with the leagues to have a group of kids walking the beach. We're going to do a bucket brigade.
Okay.
And have a group of kids at each end of Times Square and a group of kids at Santini Plaza. They'll start in the morning when we're going to be starting our other event and time their departures from where they're at to arrive back at Shuckers at 2 p.m. Because what's going to happen?
Are they going to be walking?
No, they're going to have.
I was going to
parents.
say
They're going to have
that's a hike.
The ones on the beach will be walking for us.
Okay.
But the other ones, they're going to have parents transporting them. We're going to and parents with them on the walk too. Safety first.
What is it? What is a bucket brigade? So just walking around asking for money?
They're just like the
not very
fire
creative.
departments do for. It's just an addition to the event.
Right.
Just an addition to the event to get the kids involved.
Make them
now
maybe-
what they're going to do is they are going to arrive back at Shuckers, timely arrival back at Shuckers at 2 p.m. because the first part of the event. The reason I'm having this on October 30th, October 30th is my 60th birthday.
Wow.
I am inspired by a gentleman who was 90 years old and did this earlier this year, end of last year, can't remember which. He rode 90 miles for charity on his 90th birthday.
What was his name?
I don't know, and I don't care. I have a challenge for you two.
Okay.
I want you to join me on my bike-a-thon, 60 miles on my 60th birthday. We're going to ride a bike-a-thon. Each of us gets sponsors per mile to donate to the charity per ride. We're going to ride down to Naples. We're going to ride down to Seed to Table and have lunch. Maybe schmooze for some donations there. Relax for a moment. Ride back.
Okay.
I will contrive for one of the local places to have showers for us after we get done. But we are going to ride back at the same time.
We're not showering together.
We're going to ride back at the Shuckers at the event at the same time as the kids at 2 o'clock and kind of like a parade around the parking lot.
Yeah.
Get them up in there. We'll go do our showers, come back and join the event. But yeah,
That's a you thing.
I want the best of the fit of Fort Myers Beach to join me.
Slow down. Somebody said my hats were made in China. I have to make sure they're not. But anyway, so first of all, she's not riding.
Yeah, I can't ride.
No problem,
a disaster on a bike. But I'll go. I'll ride. We have to ride though. I mean, I'm not getting on that speed that you have with the bike.
Well,
billboards.
the thing is,
it take us 2 days.
I'm not taking a trailer with me. No, this is a bike-a-thon.
You got a roll bike. You got
my 24-speed Trek is sitting right next to you there.
All right.
I average 20 miles an hour. Now you got to remember on a bike-a-thon, we're riding the team. The team is only as fast as the slowest rider. I've had one person offer to join us who only rides a beach cruiser. I said, I love you, dear, but
that's not gonna work.
You'll never be able to keep up with us.
I like that. When is so on October 30th?
On October 30th, we will leave for Naples at 9 a.m.
Can we leave a little earlier? I like to get up earlier than 9.
Well, it's a Saturday morning, so
yeah. Well, I got to do the show at 9. I can't abandon the show for a bike ride.
You could
I was thinking, what about if you took the show with us?
Yeah, well, how are we going to do that?
I
can't do that. The people expect me to be here.
You could do the show and then take off right after and catch up with them.
I probably could catch them. All right. Well, I like that idea. We'll work on it.
And maybe do a remote from down in Naples. I'm going to be going down to Oaks
listen,
Farms.
Popeye, we don't do these shows for free. We're not doing them for free everywhere. We get paid for this. We're a big friggin' deal around here.
Actually, my riders are going to make a $20 donation for our special shirts that we're going to have for the riders.
Well, we would like to do anything we can to support Popeye Palooza.
And we will have a rider meeting about 1 month before I want to give so I can have a sponsorship. What I envision is each rider gets 10 sponsors. Okay, you get 10 people to sponsor you at $1 a ride. That's $60 each person. Each rider will raise $600 for the event. I've already got the wonderful Anthony Laval of Yo Taco on board to ride with us. He's going to check with a few of his friends from his gym.
I can't see it.
My hat is made in China.
Oh my goodness!
Bunch of shit that is.
I have Mark Chang from the band.
Is he from China? Chang from
Relentless.
China.
He is also volunteering to ride with us.
Yeah.
So I've got 2 definite riders with me. Ed, you're joining me?
I have to figure out the show thing. I got to do the show, but I like to bike. Yeah.
Maybe do an earlier show that day or something. Who
Listen,
knows?
I can't just rearrange the show for your little event that you put on. Now, how much money are you going to raise, you think?
We're blowing it out of the water with the 3-tiered event. I think we're going over $10,000 this year.
Yeah, I think having it at Shuckers is a great idea. Is the music going to be playing at the Cabana?
They're going to have their own music during the day downstairs at the Cabana, and their entertainers they've got inside the Shuckers. Our event will have the entertainment at the cottage, and possibly, like I said, hopefully a classical guitarist during the dinner inside Shuckers.
And that's a great location. And speaking of Shuckers, on August 31st, they are having an art show day there. They're displaying a lot of the art from the Art Association here on Fort Myers Beach. So Brian's really
and this one that shows I can't remember her name is going to feature a wonderful artist. Some of her work is on the wall right now.
There are a couple of my paintings up there too. I didn't know if you knew that.
No, but I know Craig Peterson has his wonderful work up there.
Of course,
now.
Craig and I paint together all the time. Yeah,
there was a guy on the beach.
Very multifaceted.
That's right.
I love the headwear, by the way, Ed.
Thank you.
It's very relevant with the storm that's not coming here. By the way, I have it on great authority by that certain friendly Facebook weather geek. That we got a big high pressure trough over Florida that's pushing Fred out into the Gulf about 150 miles out. Fred's not coming to Florida, kids. Grace is coming to Florida, it looks like.
So I got a quick story, Popeye. Take a breath. Do you need some water or beer or something?
I'm very fine. I'm quite caffeinated.
George, who comes to really, nobody could tell that how many cups of coffee have you had?
All of them.
Okay. So George, who sits at table 23, remember table 23,
Hi,
everyone,
George.
where we used to hang out when Gene was there.
Dancing.
And George was sitting there, and he said, somebody called him and said, your grandparents are coming to Florida, and his grandparents are deceased. That means, passed away. His grandparents' names are Fred and Grace. How crazy is that? The next 2 storms are Fred and Grace. I just thought that was how do you play the numbers that way? You got to play the lottery or have Lalo take you to Immokalee and play the slots or something like that.
The 2 in 2017, I think it was the J&K or storm or something like that. Consecutive storms. They found a couple up in New England by the same name that were like having their 75th wedding anniversary right during the storms occurring.
They died?
Wow. No, they were having 75th wedding.
75th wedding anniversary during the storms.
Gotcha. Wow, I thought that would have been terrible if they died.
While the storms with their names were going on.
Yeah.
It was
Chad suggests that when I bike with Popeye, that Todd Truex comes in and sits in and co-hosts with you.
No.
Not something. Anything else we need to know, Popeye Palooza?
Well,
Thanks,
I half expected Ed to make a demand on me. Kim, would you hold this microphone for a second?
Did you come with gifts?
I was ready to bribe Ed to join me on this ride.
No, I love to ride the bikes. Yeah.
You asked me about this with bike billboards. I won't do it because of the comfort level, and I have to be able to be comfortable and concentrating. And also, most of the designs are dumb.
Yeah.
And they give sunburn on my head.
That's the last thing you want.
Ed to ride with me.
Yeah.
You're gonna wear a helmet. I love it.
That's right, because you were anti-helmet.
I have bought a helmet. Well, not anti, but let those who ride decide.
Dude, that thing is gigantic.
No, that's a cool helmet.
It's comfortable. It does not bother
Closer,
my
dear.
peripheral
Yeah.
vision.
Oh yeah, you need the lights.
Yeah.
The light on the back, folks. Can you see that?
Yes.
I used to have a helmet like that. She got it a couple of years ago for my birthday. It had lights like that. The minute you sweat in it, it started to electrocute me like I was being tased.
That is a nice helmet. You spent some money on that.
Yeah, how much was that?
Actually, it was less than $20.
No way.
And the light unit is separate from the helmet. That's got a pinhole behind the padding that you have to push to release it from the helmet to take the screws off to change the battery.
The helmet is a lifesaver. I've fallen a couple of times and whacked my brain.
How jaded are we as a society? I've looked at this thing and said, oh my God, where's the charger port? No, you got to change the battery in it.
Right.
I've got chargeable lights for my bicycle now.
All right, so you're going to wear a helmet. So I suggest that if we're going to do this ride, You have to have a helmet. Everyone has to be required to have a helmet.
No, let's let them rider decide, but I'm pretty sure most of them will anyway.
Yeah, real riders wear helmets.
No,
and they wear shorts with the pads in it, so you look really, feminine.
Shorts.
They're not spandex.
Yeah, they
dude,
are.
We're riding
It
30
is
miles.
Dude, do you know
Spandex.
what your ass is going to look like after riding 60 miles?
Oh, you
Yeah.
brother, my best friend is Gold Bond medicated powder.
That is gross. You're going to put Gold Bond medicated power on your area? Dude,
Biker's best friend.
no. Nut butter.
Okay.
Nut
All
butter.
right, this conversation is going a little bit too
Too
much
far.
information.
Too far.
You put that Gold Bond, that's feet powder. You put that on your feet, not on your buttocks.
No, it is multi-use.
Oh, it's
multi-use.
medicinal properties that are
So
wonderful. Wonderfully
October
heavenly.
30th is the event.
October 30th, Popeye Palooza is back. Popeye Palooza 11, the Bike-a-thon.
All righty. Well, thank you so much
Yes,
for coming down
awesome.
and illuminating us on so many subjects.
Thank
you for
you.
having me back on the show. I appreciate
And
it.
tell everybody about, before you go, tell everybody about the bike billboards.
Bike Billboards is a subscription advertising service that offers 3, 6, and 12-month subscriptions with full and half-size banners being offered now and offering a discount for charities. We have a 501c discount. Show us your tax ID number, and you get the discount off of your bill.
Got to work on that ad, Popeye.
Oh,
Sure do.
stop.
All right, let's
Get
stay.
me on the spot.
Let's stay in touch about the bike ride, and we'll organize some people together. And that sounds like a lot of fun.
Let's have us a bike ride and a great event for the kids. Popeye Palooza 11, the Bike-a-thon.
All right.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you,
I'm
Beach
going to
Talk
take care of
Radio.
this. You're going to take care of that, and then we're going to get Steve on. All right, everybody. We need to tell you about one of our great sponsors. She was there at the event last night with her husband and all their friends. Alana at Beach Pottery. You know, we love Beach Pottery, and they've got some cool stuff there. Like they even have floppy hats now. And the floppy hats are not made from China, which is really cool. I don't know where the floppy hats are made from, but you need to get on their Facebook page or their website right now and check out the new stuff that they have at Beach Pottery, which is located, of course, on San Carlos Boulevard. 239-437-4211. 239-437-4211 is the number to call for the folks at Beach Pottery. Thousands and thousands and thousands of pots. You can put pot in your pots. You can put dirt in your pots. You can stick your grandmother in the pot when it's time for grandma to say, so long. All kinds of pots. Anything you need it for, they have it. At Beach Pottery, I don't know if they've ever done that, but, you know, there's a first time for everything. 437-4211. That's 437-4211. Beach Pottery, we love them, and they're one of our best sponsors, just like all the rest. Right now, it's time to send it over to camera 2 out in the studio. You're up.
Okay. Can you
Get it.
see everything? All
No,
of your,
camera's
did
not
you, your
working.
setup? Oh, great.
But
Well,
go
the
ahead.
light is
we
on.
can hear you fine. There you
All
are.
right. Fort Myers Tiki Tours. Yep, you know them, and you know we love them. All tours, bring your own drinks, bring your own food. They provide the captain, and they provide the tiki boat that leisurely goes through Estero Bay, up and back. You're going to have a good time with you and 5 of your best friends, maybe family members, maybe workmates. Great for Father's Day, Mother's Day, any kind of event that you have. You give them a call at 239-887-0042. That's 239-887-0042 or FortMyersTikiTours.com. They're located on the other side of the bridge at Salty Sam's Marina. So please go out there, give them a call, get out there, take your time, enjoy some outdoor time, see some dolphins, see some manatees. You never know what you're going to find out there. So no, I'm going to send it back to you, dear, because you're full of it today. Thank you.
All right. You do a lovely job reading the ads. Come on back over into the studio, wife. We've got another great guest lined up for today. Oh, it just feels like the show is flying by today, everybody. We have movie trivia coming up. And here's our second guest. I switched out the hard hat to the soft hat that's made in China, damn it.
Boy.
Yeah. Boy, Popeye is he's a talker. I can't get a word in edgewise when he's on the show. So you sure you don't want to do the ride with us? No, you don't want to do the ride. For those of you that are new to the show, the wife did a couple of crashes on her bike when we were riding. We were riding a lot. And one Saturday we were out riding on Tree Line Boulevard. Is it Boulevard? Tree Line, whatever it's called. And I was ahead of, because I'm a fast rider. And so I was a little bit ahead of her, which I wish I wasn't. And there was a vehicle, there was a minivan that actually broke down in the bike lane.
They ran out of gas.
In the bike lane. And yeah, they ran out of gas. And
around a corner.
I had warned her many, many times before that she has to ride with her head up because she thinks that being that she's in the bike lane, everything is fine. Well, she wasn't riding with her head up.
Because I was in those tri-bars and I looked down just to.
No, you look down all the time.
Your neck gets
And so
sore.
what happened was she smashed her face into the back of the minivan. And the helmet pretty much saved her life.
Absolutely.
So now
pretty much. Absolutely.
We were almost to the end of Tree Line, which connects to Colonial. And I was turning around and I hear cars beeping at me like they're trying to tell me something. You can see something's going on. And I was like, oh, crap, oh, crap, oh, crap. And then I see that she didn't make it around the minivan. She's laying on the ground. There's blood everywhere.
Let's
There's
not get into
teeth
it.
everywhere. And so now I'm outraged. I go after the driver of the vehicle.
So now we're going to make this about you.
Well,
Okay.
she turned out to be fine, everybody. So it was really not that happy at the time, but it turns out to be a happy, because look at you, you're still beautified. Yeah. All
And
right.
my memory has returned.
Yes.
So that's
Yeah, that
good.
was,
not of the event. I have no recollection.
When you see your wife laying on the pavement with teeth here and blood there, you're thinking dead, she's dead. Because, bicycle accidents don't usually end up well. They don't end up,
Come on over, Steve, and save me,
Johnson is here. We love having Steve on, not just because, he's a radical, crazy kind of light guy, but he's funny. And he's a fisherman, and he's in tune with the community. And just like Popeye, he wants to rearrange the studio and all that kind of stuff.
I don't want a cord accident here, Ed.
So the first thing is, what do you got in that tin there? What are you drinking?
I've got a scotch, just straight
Nice,
scotch.
very nice.
About 500 mLs.
Excellent, very good. So you're an alcoholic. You drink like that every day, or just on Saturdays?
Just every day that ends with a Y.
Very nice, very nice. So. Yesterday I ran into you. You were a big deal yesterday. I turned around and you're standing there talking to your friend Byron Donalds like it's
Sure, me and Byron. I told him, big fan.
You
big
hang
fan
out?
of my congressman, absolutely.
Do you hang out together? And
well, Jen had the big pop up. She decided to pop up at the event, so we of course supported her, being the Marine Resource Task Force. And then Byron came in and hung out probably longer than anybody in the booth there. So
because it was raining and he had nowhere else to go.
Well, we kind of looked past that. We think more interesting.
Does
than
he drink scotch every morning too?
I didn't have a lot for him, but he was. Well, I can't speak for the congressman.
Did you slip him a scotch while he was standing there? He said, "Give me some of that scotch."
No, he didn't. No, I'm not going.
Oh, what a great event, though, huh?
It was, yeah. And I liked your derby you were wearing a little early. That's it's very becoming on you. Your
Derby?
construction derby.
You mean the hard hat?
Yeah, sure.
Why do you call it a derby? You're trying to make me more feminine than I am. How crazy! Ridiculous. What's a derby? Is that something you wear to the Kentucky Derby kind of thing? Or?
It's one of those little boulders or boulders.
Oh,
or whatever
you're
back in the day.
insulting me. How dare you? So all the big wigs were there yesterday. I mean, the only person missing was Trump. I mean, other than that, everybody who is somebody was on that beach.
Exactly. Although I think there's only one commissioner there, correct? County commissioner?
Cecil Pendergrass is there.
The only one
I think,
noticed.
maybe they shy away from getting together in the same place because of the sunshine thing. But I don't know. Maybe there's so many things going on.
That could be, but it was a cloudy day and they were in a tent. So I thought maybe you can get by sunshine laws that way.
A good point. Yeah, I get your joke there. Let me see if I had a bell for him. His joke
I'm
there.
stepping in. Okay.
So, but when I went to the water event, now that I'm up to speed on the water, you know what I mean by the water?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, Byron Donalds was there too.
Mm-hmm.
He asked how you were. He asked where you were, and I was surprised you weren't there. But nobody from the town council from Fort Myers Beach was there.
Right.
But,
I thought it was a closed event.
It was a Chamber of Commerce event. If you pay, you can go.
Oh,
anybody.
I see. Okay, I thought it was a closed event. That's
silly.
why I didn't go actually.
Well, I mean, if they let me in, it's certainly not a closed event.
Press,
There's certainly not making,
What?
choices there.
By the way, what I was going to say was that Brian Hammond was there, but he was the only one there. So I think maybe they probably sit somewhere and they say, all right, you go to this one, you go to that one.
That's a fair statement.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
So
let's start off with whatever she wants to start off with.
My Lord. So I was listening to the last meeting that y'all had on the 11th. That was a long meeting.
Was that the 11th? Oh, that was just this week. Yes, it was. Yes.
So very long.
Well, one
was a very
subject
long
was
meeting.
very
yes.
long.
So are you able to illuminate us on that subject? Because I listened for a long time and it had to do with changing. This is, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. It had to do with some change that occurred to the sea turtle ordinance.
Okay.
A specific section of the sea turtle ordinance. Is that where the rub is?
I think the rub is that the language was moved from a different portion of the ordinance, like the beach furniture ordinance.
Okay.
All right, let's get the audience.
sea turtle
You guys know what you're talking about, but they might not know. So what came up was there's certain furniture, jet skis, chairs out there that for the longest time it wasn't being enforced that they needed to come off the beach.
Correct.
And so what happened was, I guess, at least one nest was found somewhere underneath something that was in the ordinance that should not have been there. Now, I know the folks out there that have the furniture and have the jet skis watch the show and listen to the show. So I don't want to misspeak or anything, but because it was in one spot. So then go ahead. So what's happening now is the town is starting to enforce the ordinance on those people and say you got to get everything off the beach because of the turtles. Am I right?
That's correct. Yeah, that sounds like that's correct.
Well, and I would say that one point of clarification that they were trying to make was about, and this is where it really got in the weeds. For me, it was hard to understand, was the definition of the beach.
Okay.
Do you remember that part?
Sure. Yeah, that's but there's the beach, which is yeah. I think though that it's fairly clear in the the way it's defined. Basically,
so what defines the beach? Because there was something about an imaginary line between dunes.
Yes, something like that, where you can connect the ends of two dunes, and there's no distance. It could be 7 miles,
connected
could be 6 miles.
Dunes.
Well, so if you have a dune
on one end and the other end, you just draw a line.
You sort of draw a line,
and you're allowed to.
You have to keep the equipment behind
right,
that
but there's
line.
also in there that in the older portion, that was the gray area, is that you're also supposed to keep at least 200 feet from the mean high water line, which in many cases is well past that imaginary dune line. So
do the turtles know that
that's the
there's
point.
an imaginary line?
That's the
and
point.
if they don't know, then screw them. It's like, hey, you're supposed to turn around from here.
Correct.
Dude.
Correct. And that was put, I think, into that ordinance way back when some of the beach vendors were on the Marine Resource Task Force. I think Eve from Turtle Time used to be on it back in the day. The Rakers, Bill Perry was on it, and I think they sort of came to that wording maybe.
Well, I think the bottom line on that was that it was not being enforced.
That's the big one. Yeah, that's absolutely the point.
And it's being enforced now, and I don't think it's going to change. I think
it's up to the town council.
The furniture's coming off.
Yeah,
it sounds at this point to me. Am I wrong?
Well,
the furniture's coming off.
I think it's like I said. It's up to the town council. Basically, it's law. It's state law. It's federal law that it has to be removed.
Yeah.
And exceptions were made over the years, and I think deals were made, and they allowed maybe Turtle Time to mitigate things, and they're actually asking them to still get involved to sort of cut deals. And I think the point now, the position there now for them is it's the town's responsibility to enforce the ordinance.
Because there are establishments that have fixed in, like furniture
in the sand.
Oh, actually, that have posts and pilings.
Oh,
yeah.
What's up with that?
Yeah,
bollards.
bollards.
I don't know how that actually
is gonna
roll, because even the town has some of their trash cans hanging from posts.
Yeah, even the town's in violation.
Right, and I think it was brought up at the town council meeting, and I believe the town manager said, well, it's up to them then to remediate, to mitigate that and to correct that. So they will, I'm sure, do it.
I know one of the suggestions, it seemed like that came up, was having the businesses, because the water sports folks I don't know if they lease or whatever, but they're a separate entity. Was having where they conduct their business, have that business
Correct.
take care of
the
their
landowners.
stuff. The landowner.
So, right, they have an agreement with the landowners to conduct their business on their land. And in return, they provide an amenity for their guests. The way that is a common understanding. And then also, typically, there might be financial arrangements there too, whether it's just raking the beach or whether it's. I think they're all individual.
So, Steve, over the years, where the jet skis and the chairs and all the furniture out there, where that stuff has been, have there been turtle nests that have gotten clobbered from that?
Yeah, you saw the Chad Schutz actually show some photos. I mean, that certainly wasn't all of them, but that was just a collection from over the years. And yeah, they run up underneath them chairs and underneath the watercraft, and they get into the boxes and things like that.
Why?
Well.
Why do they do that?
Because they don't know any better. They crawl up, and they're used to being in water and it's hard, and they pull themselves up and they will, there's been some crawls are 1,200 feet long. So when you talk about things like 200 feet, that's right. That's just
well, and like right out here, you've got the seawall right there, so the water comes right up.
Absolutely.
To it.
Absolutely. And one thing that we brought up, and it was interesting because it was a long topic at that meeting.
It was.
It went on and on. But
Steve, you gotta figure out how to shorten your meetings, man. Well, how the hell they're so friggin' long, man?
Well, we didn't ask for this to come down.
Do you have nothing else to do with your day that these 3-hour meetings? You think I have nothing else to do there?
We have a long list of initiatives we want to work on, and also boom, stuff like this gets dropped in our lap. So but that's what we're appointed to do, and to try to just weigh in on the subject. We obviously aren't the decision makers, but we do provide input to the town council. And in this particular case, we did. We basically made recommendations that said primarily that we agree with the town attorney and the town manager that it's the law, and that any exception to that law puts the town at risk.
They
then own the liability.
Right. And it's not cheap.
No, and I think
the risk is the Endangered Species Act. Is that what
correct.
the risk is?
That's always the big one.
It's like $25,000 per violation.
It is. It's actually criminal and civil, and $50,000, and then they can go up above and beyond to say, okay, then it's $25,000 per organism. So if it's 10 baby turtles, and it's
so I'm going to read your comment from our live studio audience, and you can respond to it.
Okay.
The Marine Resources Task Force seems too rigid about any type of compromise other than their own position, aka in lighting or storage of beach equipment that can mitigate threats to turtle habitat, but also support people and business issues.
Well, I mean, it's not our position really to make deals or anything. I mean, again, we're appointed. Our scope is very straight, and our purpose of our organization, or I should say, of our advisory board, and we're not the town council. That's the political end of this. We are basically an advisory board, and our responsibility is to look after the marine resources on our beach. So maybe public safety needs to weigh in and make a decision on the businesses. But, I had told the people that the folks that came in, there was at least 5 different organizations that came and talked. And I thought it was very important to let them be heard.
Yep.
Because 3 minutes at a town council meeting, that isn't necessarily fair. And I thought, well, let them all speak. And there's a lot of great input. And I learned even more. I try to research everything before we go in, and we learned a lot. But again, I think that's are we going to step over the law and say no? We're not going to defend that. And frankly, it is the very best thing for the sea turtle nesting beaches. The impacts that this town is facing on the beach now, with the added tourists, the development. We've got this water problems. I mean, it's really impacting the community, I think. And, I'm not a flaming environmentalist or anything like that. I'm a conservationist, which means you at least have to hang on to what you have, and you can't keep chipping away at it.
The thing that's perplexing to me about the turtles is you have this turtle, this big giant turtle that comes out and lays these eggs, right? I'm trying to simplify it for some of our, like Jim Hockett and Greg. They don't really understand the turtle thing because so the big turtle comes out, and the turtle lays some eggs, right? And thousands of little turtles are supposed to come out of these eggs.
Correct.
And they all die before they get back to the water.
Not all of them.
Well, okay, so one survives.
Sure, a lot of them. I mean, we had a disorientation last week, right? So the entire nest hatched, and every single one of them walked to a condo. and a condo, or maybe it was an inn.
Did that guy get fined?
The North End. I'm assuming so. Yeah, I mean that's a $5,000.
So how do you know
fine.
that for sure, though? I mean, how do you figure that?
Well, you can see all the tracks, and they
Oh, I
walk
see.
directly to. I mean, it couldn't be more clear.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. See,
Yeah.
that. Which one was it? Which condo?
I don't remember. I don't
Oh,
know.
you
It
do.
was
You
on
just
the
don't wanna
North End.
say.
Actually, I really don't know. You know, there's
Okay.
a turtle lady.
I'll
might
look that
know, but
up.
I don't know.
I'll investigate
Yeah,
that.
I don't
So
know. But
besides the fact, let's say that 100 of them make it. I mean, how many of the, let's say,
1 in 1,000 make it back to adulthood to
one in
reproduce.
1,000?
1 in 1,000.
All of
yeah.
this work for 1 in 1,000.
Yeah, yeah.
And is that one going to be eaten by a fish?
Well, here's the thing. That's
Well, no, the 999 get
Are
eaten
eaten
by
by
fish.
Right,
Yeah.
So how do you? I think you should do more work on the other side, like in the water. I mean, figure out how to get more than one to survive. That's crazy.
Well, I mean, it's like rabbits. You know, they reproduce. and
Nobody
it's-
cares about the
Well,
rabbits, Steve.
Exactly. Well,
They
you know
seem
what?
to only care about the turtles.
Well, you were right about that. You know why? It's because Florida is ground zero for loggerhead turtles. So 90. Well, no, I guess it's 90% of all the loggerhead turtles that nest in the United States. What's the
Jeez.
percent?
Your wife-
vast majority of loggerheads.
Cindy,
A
come on,
vast
come over here.
majority of loggerheads nest here.
Cindy Johnson is sitting here, and she's
the turtle
also
lady.
well versed, and she's part of Turtle Time. And
What do you have in there?
yeah,
I have something for
do you have a turtle?
Oh,
Oh,
So we'll show it later. So
are you allowed to have a turtle?
okay.
that's why I put my shirt on. Yeah.
All
That's
right.
why I wore my shirt today.
So if you wear a yellow shirt, you're allowed to walk around with a turtle,
No,
apparently.
No, that just
So listen.
so people
Let
won't
her
me.
Okay, go
stop.
ahead.
Let somebody else talk.
Okay, so Florida is the most important place for loggerheads in the entire world. Almost 40% of all the loggerhead nests are in Florida. And other places in the world, their nest numbers are decreasing. So it's important that we continue our hard conservation work in Florida, even though only 1 in 1,000 will make it to adulthood. And
But
then
I think
they may
that's
get
the
struck
exact
by
reason why.
that they may get struck by a boat. So, that's
Dude, when I think it was Eve, were you here when Eve was on? When she
Yeah.
said those turtles can swim 40 miles
He has
an hour
never
to Key
forgotten
West.
that. And
Like,
it's not
holy
40, but
crap, man, that's a fast turtle. Like, I can't even ride my bike that fast.
in
But I
another
wanna-
year, that turtle's going to be going
You know-
150.
You know, wasn't it Mike Tyson that ran against like a gazelle or some kind of lion or something? I
If I
want to
can.
ride my bike next to a turtle that's flying
Swimming. It
to
has to
Key
be
West.
swimming,
Just so
though.
I mean, it's crazy how fast that, and then only one of them survives. It's so sad. It's really sad. I
Well,
stay
and
up at
another,
night.
Another thing about the turtles in Florida is we are only maintaining. So we had 132 nests last year. Well, Bonita was down about 100 nests. And Bonita only has 2 miles. We have 7 miles, and they always have twice as many.
Sanibel's kicking ass with the turtles. I mean,
Right.
that's because they have no
Serious conservation.
yeah,
Mhm.
and they have no
Serious.
big buildings on the beach.
Right.
Well, but they're out there at night too, so they can.
Who
You
is?
know,
You got to share the mic with your husband. He's
The
not getting.
community is also an amber community.
Oh, here we go with the amber
365
light,
days a
Steve,
year.
the big amber light
They
guy.
they don't rake their beaches, which
Rake?
is
Rake?
rake,
Oh.
right?
Rake.
Rake their beaches, mechanically rake their beaches, and they also have they abide by the lighting ordinances, and so that's a high priority for their community.
Yeah.
That's in their LDC and all those types of good things. They were developed for that.
I think I recently saw, because I was writing the article, that because they have 3 places that get measured, Sanibel East, West, and
Mhm.
Captiva. And one of them had like 14,000 hatchlings. I mean, it's
It's absurd. I mean, actually, some of these are very prolific.
Which is
nesting
good.
beaches. Yeah,
Which
oh,
is
sure.
good.
I need to ask a dumb question because some people don't understand in the audience. You guys have to. You should never assume everybody understands.
no, we know.
A hatchling is what? One turtle? Oh no, she's got a turtle.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
Oh my gosh, you got to
That's
put that.
later.
That is amazing.
oh my.
That's what you people are out there killing.
It's
Those turtles.
tiny.
You see, that's how you do it. You play on the emotions of people by
that's-
bringing out the turtle.
But
How
that's not
dare
what
you?
We really want people to understand. And we're more than happy to discuss.
So wait.
Let me ask a question. I was out running this morning, and I was kind of making a mental note of all the
How far did you run? How many
areas
miles?
that were blocked off for the nests. And there was a some kids, I'm assuming, had made a sand castle there, and right in the line of the nest. And I thought, see, that's the thing, because shouldn't that
they don't know
in the evening, you kind of want to smooth that down so that if the turtles decide tonight is the night, we're getting out of here, we're going to go 30 miles an hour down to the Keys, that they can have
a slow one.
unimpeded path
that would
to
be
the
ideal.
water.
That would be ideal, but it's not ideal. Yeah.
It's right. And there were some holes, and fill the holes.
So, did you have a question,
Well,
or are you
no,
making
and
a
I guess
statement?
when you were talking about the raking, is the raking bad or good for? Okay.
Not for a natural beach. No, not necessarily good for a natural beach.
Because
Actually,
I thought, well, the
although
raking at
people
least
think
might
it
fill in the
aerates it,
air.
but they only are allowed to really rake the top 2 inches, so it actually ends up compacting the beach.
So
So the raking is just aesthetics for beach people.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right. To clean it up. It's just that pure white, sand visual that
Mhm.
people like.
Okay.
It's kind of like
So-
a big green lawn.
So, Cindy, that turtle there, there was one of when I
Okay,
see you
dug,
down.
Yes, I dug the nest this morning.
Oh.
Early, and there were, I think, 89 hatchlings. 89 hatchlings made it out
Just
of
like
the
he
nest.
makes up all his
out of
stuff at the meetings.
92, so there were 3 that didn't hatch, and this guy was left in the nest. And I tried to do it early enough so I could release it in the dark, but of course,
So now
this
that you,
guy wasn't. He was a little curled up.
so
still.
how many turtles did you see in the hole?
She
Only
just
this
said.
one. The rest of them all went to the water because
okay.
remember,
Gotcha.
it hatched a few days ago, and we always look at the tracks to see where they went to make sure they went.
And
to
then
the
you
water.
give it a few days, and then you check out the nest, and then you
yeah.
retrieve, you count and retrieve if there's anything to retrieve. Now tell people what's going to happen with this guy or girl.
So this
Do you know?
guy.
Okay.
No, we don't know.
Ange,
Actually, only a
Can
few,
you fill his glass up with scotch?
only a few years ago, maybe 5 years ago, did they find a way to determine the sex of a hatchling and a turtle before, without actually doing a little bit of surgery to see what the sex was. So that only happened maybe 5 or 6 years ago. So now they could do a blood test to determine. We can't tell. You
But we
can't
can't
tell
tell.
until they're mature.
Okay.
So what are you going to do with that turtle? You're going to take it out to the water?
Yeah.
Give it a minute.
So what time of day do you think
not
I
that
should
great.
release it, Ed?
It was
What time of
already
day do you
asked.
think I should release it?
3 a.m.
3 a.m. Okay.
I mean, I don't know.
Because why?
It's dark.
Exactly.
He's learning.
You guys are insulting me. You're making me feel like a dummy. Listen, there's a lot to learn. I'm
Because
trying to
if
figure
it's
out
in
the water.
if it's light, say we would put lights on pilings to try and get the hatchlings to go to the pilings. What would happen to those hatchlings?
Wait, pilings? What's a piling?
Yeah, some people think maybe you could put lights out on the
Oh, I see.
pilings.
Good
yeah,
idea.
and that would to
It's
draw
not
the
natural
turtles.
light, though, right? Yeah.
Well,
they're
what
looking-
would happen to those hatchlings when they swam to that piling with the light on top?
I guess they would just sit there and die. Bugs.
Well, they'll just circle the light. They just circle the light, right?
Oh.
Until the fish know that
Oh, I
goes to
see.
the light because
Yeah.
then there's food
There's
there.
food.
Yeah, I
See,
mean, it's
this
just
is too complicated for the humans to figure out. It's like Eddie Rude makes a good suggestion. Maybe the entire beach should shut down during turtle season all the way to Estero Boulevard, right?
I don't think that'd be necessary. I think he might be being a little sarcastic.
Yeah, he's
but,
a little sarcastic. So
Yeah,
he drinks
yeah.
scotch in the morning too.
yeah.
But
might
so
more-
so do you really think moving the furniture off the beach is something that needs to be done, Mr. Chairman of
Or
MRTF?
Mrs.
Yes, the unanimous decision of the Marine Resource Task Force, it's the best thing for the beach and for the conservation of the sea turtles.
Do you worry that though a few of the businesses might go out of business?
Well, that's not. I have empathy, and I understand that most businesses need to change after 30 years. And my input was, you sort of have to reinvent yourself. Most businesses do. They have to maybe look at their business plan and how they conduct business, and and abide by the laws. I think, again, it's not about what I think.
Yeah.
Right.
It's their business, and ultimately it's their responsibility.
So you're basically saying tough toenails, move your
Well,
stuff.
no, I feel like there's answers that there's solutions. The landowners themselves have to have skin in the game. So if you are a hotel and you have I think water sports, and again they're benefiting because it's giving their customers an amenity. They're also receiving either some kind of financial reciprocation or some type of benefit from having them there. Then they should work with them to. And our suggestion was to put in a frontal dune.
Mm-hmm.
So once you put a dune in, that then ends the sea turtle nesting beach.
Is the dune basically weeds?
No, it's typically native growth. It's sea oats and beach sunflower and all these native things that then hold the beach so it doesn't erode. That's the other aspect.
But it's
of
not
it.
straight sand, so they know to stop.
Well, yeah, because they go up onto the dune and nest. They typically don't go back into the dunes because they know that the little babies have to then try to find their way all the way through the dunes to get to the water.
Smart for little
So if they have
dummies
a
that
frontal
get eaten.
dune, if they have a frontal dune, then they can set their stuff right behind that, and everybody is happy. But it takes a group to work through that. And one of the things the Marine Resource Task Force is working on right now as we speak is what's called a managed beach zone or managed dunes. The problem with people the reason they don't want to put dunes in is because you lose control of it. Because once they're in, you can't touch them. You can't rake within 10 feet of them, and they can grow at will, and the landowner has no control of their own land with regards to beach vegetation. So if we can push this through, it's going to have rules where you can actually lower it. If it gets too big, you can rake it very closely to manage the size of it. And you can actually then put in, sort of a bunker and manage it so it doesn't take over your property and still have walkways, still have views. And so if we can push that through, then it's going to really help facilitate.
Is it this strict on other beaches? Like on Daytona Beach, you can drive your car on the beach.
Yes, but the town attorney actually spoke about that at the town council meeting. But the incline, there's a place for the turtles to nest, and they cannot go where the turtles are going to nest. They can still drive up to a certain time a day.
Right.
But now they can't.
Oh, I see.
They can't be on the beach all night.
Is it the
anymore.
same
The turtles are.
They take priority.
Is it the same
Rights of nature.
How do the turtles know that October is the end of turtle season?
They don't.
Okay.
They don't. So today we actually had a new nest. This is kind of late for us. So this is nest 87. So this is kind of late for Fort Myers Beach. The water's a little cooler this year. I don't know. We'll see what's going to happen. It might be a different year for everyone.
Well, I mean, why don't they nest in February?
The water's too cold.
Oh, I see. It's got to be warmer water. I see.
It's their
Gotcha.
temperature, and that's
Great
cue for them to come
Thank,
up.
thank
Cut it out,
He's,
Steve.
yeah, no, he's just goofing around
He's
now.
a plant now.
I know. Where are those big ass turtles during like the colder water here? Are they in Key West or where are they?
Well, some hang out around here still. They're here year round.
But they just don't nest.
But yeah, they don't nest. And a lot of our turtles, they'll go to areas where there's a lot more food, like
Sargasso Sea and stuff like that. Yeah.
North of the Keys, or some of them go all the way to the Bahamas.
How many turtles? Steve, I know you know the answer to this because you're the chairman of the Marine Resources Task Force, and maybe someday you'll run for town council. How many turtles are out there? Like, how many of these big ass turtles are out there?
Ooh.
Well, we don't know the number, but the FWC estimates from the nesting activity. So that's why
I see.
That's why their statement is.
Is it fully
I
in
have a
all of
slide
Florida?
that has that data.
I'm
but
sure
I
you
did not
do.
commit
Did you
that to
make it
memory.
up? The slide?
No, but whoever did the slide did.
Is it all of Florida? Like these? Is this all the entire state? Wherever they're saying there's turtles, the entire state.
Pretty much, exactly.
Yes,
Yep.
basically.
Yep.
Wow. And there only one survives. I mean, they should be everywhere. These friggin' things.
1 in 1,000 that makes it to the water
Crazy.
survives.
So I was in Gateway yesterday, and there was a turtle trying to cross the road. Like
It's not a sea turtle.
I know what
but-
the hell is that thing trying to cross the road for? Like
I think to get to the other side.
for
is how
sure,
it
yeah.
goes, right?
Okay, but
Well,
why
you guys
is there?
set each other up
But why is
perfectly.
why is there a turtle in the road? Like how did he get disoriented?
Why is
Probably
there a
looking
road
for
in the way
someplace-
of the turtle?
Maybe
Stop.
it's
We all
trying to
have to.
find higher
Survival of the
habitat
fittest.
to nest, right?
Oh.
We have them in our roads here too.
Yep.
but nobody was stopping. Like it was in the other direction.
Oh, I see
I
people
thought of
stop
Steve,
all
and
the
I was
time.
like, Steve would want me to turn around and pick
I
that
would
turtle
stop,
up.
right,
Yeah.
and
And
I've
put it
done
in the grass.
and send it the way it's going though. Don't
And
try
I-
to
so
push
I-
it back because it's
So
gonna
I
turn
kept
around.
looking at the rearview mirror to see if anyone would stop, but they don't.
No.
I
They
see
just go
people
around
stop
it.
all the
I know,
time.
I do too, but I digress. So,
Well, did you want to ask him anything about the lights?
of course, are we done with the turtles? I'm so fascinated
Well,
by the
I don't-
turtles, though.
Yes,
I
they are
could talk
fascinating.
turtles.
Because if a turtle ran for mayor in this town, the turtle would win.
It's
There's
a
no doubt about
possibility.
it.
It's a possibility, yeah, based
mean,
on the survey
Some,
results. Yeah.
I mean, let's say you put I pick Steve, and you put it like a Ninja Turtle outfit on you, and say
right.
you're for the turtles. You win in a landslide, dude.
Exactly right. This beach is funky enough to actually hire somebody to actually elect somebody like that.
I think one really interesting thing that was found out on Sanibel this year. Remember, the SCCF gave a little presentation, and I don't know if you ever reported on the follow-up of what they found out, but they were trying to find out. They were worried about global warming and if all the turtles were going to be female down here in Florida, and then we were going to run into issues.
Because of global warming?
No, because the
So
sex
stupid.
of the turtle is determined by the
sun?
the temperature of the sand.
Right.
Absolutely.
So-
Brilliant.
Yep.
We'll try and stick global warming into everything. So, by the
No,
way,
no,
Steve,
I don't use that. Climate
Yeah,
change.
let's finish this because this is interesting. So this is kind of different than what they thought it was going to turn out to be. So on the East Coast, now that they're able to take blood tests of these hatchlings, they found out all those hatchlings were female. But on Sanibel, 100% male.
Wow.
Tripping.
So are the
That's
males?
crazy.
that
That's
is-
a good thing.
Does that mean the
But
males are having
interesting.
babies?
No.
So that tells you the temperature difference between the two beaches.
Right. It means
Of
you're not gonna
course,
be
dear.
overrun
Everybody
with more
knows
women.
that.
And
Ed.
we're
That's
not
what
going to
it
get
is.
into the global warming thing, but
No,
I did
never.
hear how some recent information has come out from a UN about that it's well, we'll talk about it another time. But
So
Okay,
Lou,
right.
I don't know if this is true, but Lou says last year they didn't move the turtle nests and most were drowned. Is that true?
We are not allowed to move turtle nests anymore.
You were allowed at one point?
Well, yeah, when
Yes,
they
we-
really had to work hard on conservation, yeah, unless they're going to get washed over every day.
Well, why can't you move them?
Because what?
It interrupts nature.
Yeah, maybe
Introduces
not-
bacteria.
But there's
maybe
a chance
not as many
if you
will
rotate
survive.
them, the embryos
All
already.
right.
You know,
There's a chance that 2 out of 1,000 might make it if you move the nest, but because you're trying to let nature take its course and kill them all, you won't move them.
We don't make the rules. The FWC makes the rules.
Oh, I see.
And
So
we
we
have
need to
to
get
obey.
somebody from FWC on. Who's our
Yes.
contact? That's
yes,
so dumb.
the head of the imperiled species. She's our
Yeah.
contact.
So
so you guys can't move them, but are other agencies allowed to move them?
No,
We can move them, but our directive the last couple of years
Oh,
was that
was
we
to
can't
not
move
move
them
them.
unless they're getting washed over every
I
day.
see. So behind the scenes, when there's no media around, you're breaking the rules. That's
No.
cool.
We'll
Hey,
sneak out at night.
As long as you're trying to save the turtles, you're doing what's right for the world.
Fortunately or unfortunately, people watch everything that we do.
There's
we
cameras
are not
everywhere.
We are not
Yes.
the only. Yeah.
Speaking of
People
that,
out there.
have you taken the vaccine?
no.
Okay,
I am,
Cindy, are
it's
you
my personal
vaccinated?
choice.
It's
No.
none of your business,
Why
and you
are
don't
you
have
not-
to answer.
Why are you not vaccinated?
You don't have to answer that on the base of your religious
I'd be happy
region.
to tell you. Basically, based on my research, I have a higher risk of taking it. Having a more deleterious effects to me if I take it than not taking it.
Did you get the vid?
I'm a healthy guy. I'm not in the statistical death zone. So
How
I'm,
old are you?
40 years old.
Oh shit,
No,
you're
I'm
still
not.
young.
No, I'm not.
Oh, you're not 40? Okay, you look older.
58.
58. Wow, you're older than me, and I look
Yeah.
older than you.
Oh, no.
So, did you get the Rona yet?
No,
Yeah.
not that I know of. I had
Might have had it.
Yeah.
It would have been January in 2020 before it all broke out. I got the flu. I think basically a week.
Cindy, did you have you gotten sick or have you gotten it?
I might have gotten a little bit of it when he had it, but
Why
we
are you?
didn't know if it was flu or not.
Why
or
are you
COVID.
more tan than he is?
because I'm Greek
She's
and Italian.
Greek
Oh,
Italian.
you're not out in the sun more.
No.
Okay.
Right.
So, are you for a mask mandate for kids under 2?
No, absolutely
Is that
not.
will that be on the agenda?
Any
at
children?
your-
Period.
getting it
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. So let's talk about the lights real quick because, you know, it's all related to the virus and the lights and the masks. It's all related somehow.
Right.
And what we thought was going to happen was the lighting consultant was going to go before the town council like next week,
Monday,
right?
yeah.
And that's not happening.
No, they've put it off for another month.
Why? Because they can't get their shit together?
In my opinion, yeah.
Okay. Oh, I was surprised that you answered that way. So,
well,
the last thing
they're working on a custom solution on a Frankenstein project, and you know,
what does that mean, Frankenstein project?
It's put together in somebody's basement using various parts. Yeah.
Well, whose basement? The guy that never can connect on the Zoom call?
right, Rick. No,
I think you referred to it as a train wreck.
Yeah,
train wreck
you're not
could
in
be.
favor of what's going to happen here.
I'm not. I don't think it's good for the community. That's why.
Okay.
There's a lot of reasons. It's not just all environmental either. So it's you know, that's again my personal opinion. Although the at this last Marine Resource Task Force, we did recap. Had the first opportunity we had to recap since the presentation, and we summarized that along with new recommendations for town council to potentially consider.
So, what, in your opinion, is going to happen? I mean, you're just taking a stab in the dark here now, Steve. When it finally does go to council, they're going to recommend amber during. This is my opinion. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to recommend amber during turtle season, white lights during non-turtle season.
Potentially. I mean, right now, I think there's a couple people that might be for that, but I think there's a number that aren't for that.
Well, yeah, there's a big number that are for amber 24/7, 365. What are the chances it gets switched to that?
I think it's a very good chance, to be honest with you. And the recommendation to council from the Marine Resource Task Force was to get involved right away, because right now they're running wild. There's nobody I don't know who's directing them, but right now the public safety, they're not following the input from public safety nor the Marine Resource Task Force, and they're on their own. And we haven't seen any particular support from the public or anybody else for this dual source light that they're working on.
Now, one of the things that was brought up was what's going on in Treasure
Island.
Treasure Island.
Mm-hmm.
So talk a little bit about what they have going on. They're amber all the time.
Yes. Well, our mayor described Treasure Island as our sister city. I think maybe we evolved the same way. It's possible that they became a town. Yeah. Well, it's similar population. They also, I think, pulled away from St. Pete. St. Petersburg is their own municipality, maybe about the same time. Well, they're right on Gulf Boulevard, very similar to our situation here. They, Duke Energy came rolling in with the same, DOE tariff program to switch everything out to white light. And nobody was even aware of it. And so they rolled those out, and immediately people started screaming about it. They were not happy. It was terrible for the turtles also. They have a turtle beach there. They were buying blackout curtains. There was the outcry, not only from the beachfront folks, but also the residences too. And so they changed them out. I don't know how many years they had them, 2-3 years, and they've gone to an all amber solution.
Even on the side streets.
Even on the residential areas as well. Yep. And now it's Pinellas County is rolling it out along the rest of Gulf Boulevard.
So other places are doing it.
I mean, that's a case study right there of how, most municipalities on coastal beaches are in fact using amber lighting.
So why are you so in favor of amber?
For what he just said.
Because it protects the turtles?
I like the dark. I don't know if it's as much as about amber as much as it is that I just the bright white prison lighting is horrendous to live under. You can't see the stars. 4,000 K lighting is so white. Basically, the concept, I think, and I've spent 2 years on this thing in the research. So lighting is a science, but what's the scientific portion of it is the physics. It's the bending of the light. It's the spectral power distribution, but it's the application that is entirely subjective. And that's what they're coming with. When they say white light is safer, the Marine Resource Task Force has said you can no longer use that word until you prove it's safer. There is communities that have had amber. It's not a novel new product out there, and there is nothing that I can possibly find in empirical evidence that shows that the accident or the crash rates are increased in communities that use amber. So that's the proof in the pudding right there. I mean, you have to prove it. Otherwise, it's just based on this causal relationship. But not only that, lighting has a very small portion to do with traffic accidents. interrupted drivers or distracted drivers, debris in the rail, on the road, snow, rain,
critters,
unexpected, unavoidable
bikers,
things, people jumping out, stuff like that has way more to do
people
with,
crossing the
with
road
traffic
where they shouldn't.
safety than lighting.
So
and also,
right now it's a disaster because you have dark areas, you have lighted areas,
correct,
you have
it's non-uniform.
Right. And so if you had amber, would FPL cover amber? What would be the minimal cost to the taxpayers year round?
See, I don't know. From Bob Horswood did a presentation at the town council meeting in February and answered all those questions, and I wrote out a transcript of it. And from my understanding, the majority is covered by the tariff. There could be some construction for some of the poles, but in general, again, in my opinion, without knowing exactly what the tariff, I mean, they need to talk to FPL and find out exactly if we did this, what would be covered. And actually, for the recommendation, you would have thought that these consultants would have done that, and they didn't. I mean, admittedly, they said, "Oh no, we missed that." And I said, "How could you present something?"
Do you think they have an agenda of their own? Are they trying
yeah.
to install lights that they can get the project?
I mean, they're on record of saying it's about the team. It's about Joe. It's about Rick. It's about Ed. We have these long lasting relationships with lighting manufacturers, and we want to do this. That's what they want to do. It's not about what the town wants to do. At no point have they even accepted any kind of stakeholder input. I think John Goggin also from public safety is out of his, he's out of his mind too about this. They're not doing anything. He asked them specifically to provide data, empirical data, comparing the safety of the two. And of course, it wasn't in there because it doesn't exist.
I think John wants it to be consistent.
He wants a single source. Yeah, the public safety has recommended a single source.
You're not going to get single source with white lights, though.
No, you can't. It won't work for turtle season, certainly.
So really, there needs to be Fred is here, by the way, everybody. It's pouring rain out.
Yes, it is. Hello.
The answer is amber. That's the only answer to be year round, right?
I think so. Oh, for year round would be amber.
For year round.
Correct,
if you're going to go one source year round, it has to be amber.
Right.
And then you're saving the turtles, the 1 out of a million that makes it to the water. That I mean,
1 out of 1,000.
But let's talk about the future of this town too, right? I mean, the development on it. I mean, what does this town want to brand itself as? Is it going to be sort of a plasticky, touristy, place that people can come and trash? Because don't forget, the more people we bring in, tourists are not necessarily as easy on the resources as locals. So we understand there's an impact just from the fact that it's it's a big tourism area. So do we want to attract, what type of tourists do we want to attract? We want people more environmentally minded, and when we show that with our lighting, or do we want a bright white uniform? Don't forget, the only roadway I can think of that has uniform lighting is 41. All the rest have non-uniform lighting, which means that there's dark spots as you go from one area to another. This is going to be white. Yeah, go ahead. You can. I'm sure you have. I have my.
We got to wrap this up before we get.
You can lay it on me. I can handle it.
3,000 K can also be year round.
That's false. That's false. Anyone who says, okay,
white light can be used.
Yeah, is completely wrong.
Yeah.
How do you guys know that? I mean, explain.
Because otherwise, FWC would allow that.
We have
a map that FDOT made that this is a wildlife area of concern. The whole Estero Boulevard and most of the side streets are in that area, and the FDOT says you need to use amber LED lights in these areas. FDOT. And they tell you specifically what levels and what lights. And there's 2 lights approved on their APL.
And they're amber. Yeah. I mean, the head of the imperiled species group of FWC said white light will never be turtle friendly ever. Right. And the deal is with lighting people, they think, I can keep the genie in the bottle. I can make sure the light only goes where we want it. And that's so broad spectrum white light, the short wavelengths, they scatter 10 times more than, let's say, high pressure sodium is what we have now on the beach, which means that when that light comes down, even though they think they're putting it where they want it, it's bouncing everywhere. It bounces off the posts. It bounces off the
well, it sounds like.
I know. I'm sure I know who that probably is too.
Like,
but that's called Raleigh scatter, and you know what? It's actually exacerbated by humidity. And where do we live? In Florida.
Right.
So the point is this stuff's going to go all over, and the sky glow is going to be tremendous from this stuff. And there's no question. You could already see, there's a plaza on the south side of the town that put up new white lights in their parking lot. You
Steve.
can clearly see that from the beach, and you don't see the source either.
But how does that get approved then? If
it doesn't get approved. It doesn't get approved.
Yeah,
It won't be approved. The dual won't be approved
by
either.
FWC.
No. I mean, how does that happen in a parking lot? How does that get
because
through?
it doesn't get permitted. They just, my understanding based on my checking up in on things is that it's not. They didn't ask for. They didn't go through the permitting process.
They didn't ask for one, or they didn't need to get one. I don't know.
They need to have one if they're in a certain, if they're within this triple CL
How does
line.
that happen?
It just happens. Who's out? Who
So-
notices?
So this council is not going to approve anything other than amber. I mean, that's my read. Do you feel the same way? I mean, they pretty much gave some direction.
We think there's like-minded people in town council.
Yeah, maybe not all five, but you have enough.
Definitely not all five.
You have 3 votes of amber is got to be the way to go. I don't know why you needed a $185,000 consultant that everybody seems to disagree with.
Well, the deal is that a lot of these towns, they decide what they want to do, and then they hire an engineer to do it.
Yeah.
What we've decided to do is to take all offers, tell us what's best for us, and the fit with this consultant is not good. I think they're very good engineers. I think they're they're IES academics, so which is the Illumination Society of America, whatever it is, Illuminating Engineer Society, and but they know nothing about environmental lighting. Nothing.
Yeah.
And they don't care either. That's the point. I mean, we actually asked during the presentation, we said, well, who's your environmental expert? And they all kind of looked at each other, and we thought it was going to be the FPL guy because he's done a little bit of turtle lighting. And they said, no, it's Rick, the guy that calls in all the time. You can't listen to.
What I found to be interesting about the consultant, of course, I'm a layman. I'm not as smart as anybody. Is that the lady? What's her name?
Suzanne Lansford. Yeah.
It's her company. Everybody else that she has on those calls do not work for that company. They're
correct.
They're
1099.
Yeah. 1099s. Yeah.
Which is like, how do you even hire that? I mean, you don't have experts within the company where you're all kind of have done it for years, and maybe they've done it for years.
Right.
When I found that out, I was like, well, yeah, it seems like
maybe
everybody
that's
has
how
a
the
different
other
agenda.
companies
Maybe.
work. I mean,
Maybe. I mean, obviously they're going for amber. Well, just to friggin' approve the amber and get the lights up. I mean, it's just so silly that it takes so long.
What's
sometimes.
interesting is the dual light source that they have has these sensational specifications. So it has white and it has amber, and you only need 300 of them versus the normal ambers you need 500 of them.
Mhm.
right.
Not without getting super technical here, basically these have the efficiency, so they put out more watts, more lumens per watt, 3 times more than anything on the market right now, which I don't know how they do that. And there's no specifications for this. We've called, and we can't even get through the tech support group for this company that's supposedly producing it. But also it's able to spread 120 feet, whereas they're saying, well, the other ambers, even though they have the same sort of strength, we have to have them 70 feet apart.
Yeah, my eyes are glazing over right now. I have no
so
idea
my
what the hell
point
you're
is,
talking
instead
about.
of having them develop this dual light, the recommendation from Murph is to tell town council, tell them to just only work on that amber piece, because if it only takes 300, it literally won't cost the town a penny.
Yeah.
Right.
Because we don't need more poles.
Right.
So you said something earlier, and we're running out of time here.
Yep.
You said something earlier about what does the town want the town to be? Like, if you were on the town council, would you vote for an adult video arcade on Old San Carlos?
Well, first of all, I didn't understand what that was until I read your article.
I didn't either.
I asked my wife, is this a peep show deal?
Right.
Are
no.
they trying to put on there? Or, but it sounds like it's just a gambling hut where you can drink and gamble. So
I mean,
I don't know enough about it to give you an opinion right now.
Perfect.
You know exactly what they are.
I
if
don't
you
know
were
what
on,
they are. I
if
honestly
you
God
see
don't
them,
know.
You need to get out more.
I
man.
do need to go out.
Get off the beach every once in a while.
Maybe we don't. Maybe we don't visit
What
the
a
same
political-
establishments.
You are going to run for council because that was a political
thing,
answer.
not
You
a
know
man
what?
thing.
I mean, I like to know about things before I actually make an opinion, I guess.
All right.
I try to be fair about things.
Interesting.
I have no idea
answer.
what that really is. I mean, do they play
I
video
didn't
games,
know.
Ed?
I don't know. I think you
Like
it's a
PS5 or PS2 or what?
The thing is, I guess you
Are there
give them
pinball
money.
machines there?
I said if there was Pac-Man there and
Uh-huh.
asteroids,
I would go.
I would go.
Centipede? Yeah.
Like, that's what we need, like an old-fashioned video arcade,
That
because
is what
that
we
would be
need.
That's not
cool.
video. That would just
so
be
what
a
makes it adult? Are there
arcade.
naked ladies in there or naked
I-
No,
guys?
I
or
think
is it
that's
just the
where the
booze?
gaming comes in.
Oh, they can bet.
Somehow they get around the gambling and
Oh, no,
they
you
call
get-
it adult.
You get
so
prizes. That's what it is. You don't
Like,
get cash. You get like
Bob
teddy bears.
Brandt, who says
we'll
he's an
have to have
attorney,
them on.
said that he's representing the person trying to get it in, but he's never been in one. So, which was peculiar. He said, I've never been in one of these, but I'm
Right.
here to represent the applicant.
Mhm.
He said that you win a teddy bear.
Mhm.
Well, to me, that sounds like, well, why don't you just go to the fair? Why do you need a peep show place? Or,
Sure,
it's
right.
not a
So-
peep show. It's, I
Right.
guess you play slots, you win tickets, you
Mhm.
turn the tickets in for, it's really
like
money.
Chuck E. Cheese, right? Or what do
It's
they
not,
call those
he
places?
brought Chuck E. Cheese up.
Right, where they get all
It's
these
not
tickets
Chuck E.
and you go and
Cheese.
pick your stuff out.
I have no freaking idea what it is. I mean, seriously.
Right.
I wish Susie is on the public safety committee. It's her building. She's trying to put it in. We need to get her on to explain what it is.
Yeah.
Right.
I think
Set
that would be
the
fair to
record
everybody.
straight.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
So
you know,
anyway.
it's just all this coconut
Are you
telegram
going-
stuff.
Conjecture here.
When you, by the way, can I have the turtle? How much for the turtle?
No, she's releasing it.
how much
How come there's no water in there?
Because that's why would we put water in there?
I don't know.
Means
It
the
seems like
recipe's
it's
gonna be-
dry.
It's
He's
supposed
gonna
to. It's
be-
supposed to be like a nest,
Yeah.
dry but moist and
Now,
dark. And
If you walked out there and opened up the lid and the turtle was, deceased, would that be a fine?
no,
Okay, you sure about that? Or
she's a permit holder,
Yeah.
so she.
You know, I do want to tell you one thing that these lighting people said.
go ahead, take it.
They said that you couldn't do the embedded lighting. They said that would be too much sky glow.
On the ground? That was
Remember,
my
because
idea.
you're a fan. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And they're wrong about that. That's approved by FWC.
They're wrong about
embedded
that.
lighting is
Yeah,
approved by
but he
FWC.
said no, you can't do
No,
that.
you
Too
know
much
why?
sky glow.
You know why?
Because they don't want to do that.
Because it was my idea. That's why. Nobody wants to do the
That's right.
thing
I
on the
know.
ground.
Right.
Because then you can have Dan Allers in the back room somewhere shutting them on, turning them off, shutting them
Right.
off. I mean, he's the light guy, right? Just
Right. Yeah.
hey,
He's,
I
he's
gotta,
a lighting industry person.
he'd
I'd
be
say.
say,
Yeah.
Megan, I'm sorry, I got to run down to the shack and turn the lights off
Mhm.
because it's just starting to, Anyway,
Yeah, in my research that I found a nice article on what's the cause of light pollution. And you know what the answer is? Lighting design consultants.
no, I believe that.
More light, right? And it's a panacea. More light because 4K light is what the equivalent of like 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning. I mean, almost broad daylight.
Wow, I
So
didn't know
the
that.
concept is that if you make everything like daylight, then it's like you can see.
You know
during the
what? You
daylight.
guys should do your own podcast. You're way better than we are.
She beat me up too much.
Yeah, that's
Kim would have
And
to
it's
coach
be
her a
very
little bit on how to
entertaining.
be.
You're lucky he let me come on with him today.
I am.
Yeah.
So the last question I have for you, Steve or Cindy,
Mhm.
Cindy especially, when will either one of you declare that you're running for town council? There are 2 seats up next year. After they've given themselves more power in the last election. Stop kicking me. When will either one of you two? When will you do it? If you do on the show, will you do it on the show?
Sorry, we want to get back to our salt life as soon as
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah, I have to
we
tell
spend
you.
way too much time on this.
And you
lighting
know what?
thing.
I mean, frankly, you can't give them enough credit because, first of all, they're not in it for the money. I don't think.
No.
You know, and okay, can you get your little power trip out of it?
Yeah.
I suppose, but this is a little municipality, so that you have to actually
It's
put
a-
a cap on
It's a
that.
lot of work.
But it's a lot of work.
It's
I
a
mean, if
lot
you
of
want to
work.
do a good job, you have to be well read.
And somebody
And-
somewhere isn't going to like you. I
Oh,
mean,
absolutely.
it's. I wouldn't.
So
no way.
Yeah. So I
if you
figured
were
that-
to list your
We're gonna
top
move our
3
stuff.
choices of who you would like to see run, who would
Mhm.
they be? That's
probably
That's not now on the council. I'll list mine after
Probably-
yours.
Goofy, Mickey, and Pluto.
Oh, come
There you
on,
go.
man. Come on, Steve. Be serious for
Oh, who
once.
would I-
Stop being trying to be funny because you're not being
don't-
funny.
No, I
Come
mean,
on.
I think you're
just
being
in our
funny.
general population.
Yeah.
we don't know enough people
How
to
about
know
Jim
who's
Hockett?
interested.
No.
He
no.
seems to be.
He doesn't
have
live
an
on
opinion.
the beach.
Correct.
He doesn't live
That's-
on the beach.
I'm aware of that too.
Right. Come on. Give me
How
one
about
name.
Jackie Lezak?
All right. I'll take
She's
that.
on the fire board. She's
You
a brilliant
know what?
woman.
Yeah, and she is. She
All right.
is
Here are my
well-read
3
and-
picks.
Okay, good.
Jim Nickel. Top.
Okay, yeah,
number
Jim is,
1. He's got to
very,
run. We got to
straightforward
get
guy.
him.
Even keel
Yep.
guy. Yep.
Got to get him on the town council. John Goggin.
John, I'm a big, huge fan.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him leading the town.
Yeah. And Eve. No, I
She
know
lives
she
off
never.
the island too.
She does live off the
Yeah.
island. See, there needs to be who female. We need to have a female on that list. Anybody have any suggestions for a female? Oh yeah, Jackie.
Jackie is female.
I don't
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
I think Jackie is. She loves that job there at the
Oh yeah,
chamber.
she does, and
such a
she's
good
very
job.
good at it.
Yeah.
Why would you want to put up with politics when you can be,
Well,
that's
our
president of
point,
the
too.
chamber?
Right.
So we have to come up with one more name.
Yeah, we'll
So
work on
anybody
that.
All
good?
right. No,
We'll
you
sleep
just
on that.
got 3.
All
There
right,
you go.
thank you guys for. It's like
Okay,
pitch dark
thank you,
out
as
here
always.
now.
I know.
You're
and
always-
we got to move our stuff so
I know.
people
Hey,
can
you know
sit
what? I
down
live
and.
on the ground, so anytime the water's coming up is always a
You're
concern.
always
I'm
welcome
telling
to
you.
come on. We love having you guys on because it's like sitting around in the living room having a glass of wine and shooting the shit and all that.
Having
And
fun,
pissing
right?
people off that they think they're lighting
That's
experts
right.
and
That's
they
right.
can't chime in.
You can't be afraid to have an opinion,
I'm sorry,
right?
they still think they can have white light during turtle season. I'm sorry. I mean, that's like wish lighting. Do you know what wish cycling is?
Wish cycling? Like I
Yeah.
wish I could cycle?
Recycle.
Oh, I see.
You know, you
Oh,
throw
wish
things in
cycle.
your recycling bin. That's wish lighting.
To be continued for
Yes.
sure.
Also, let me be the first one to
Congratulate me?
contribute to your donation if you're going to be riding in Popeye's.
Okay.
Oh,
bike
very
event.
nice.
Yes, we're going to
Okay.
get that really organized.
I do need to get the details again. I hear
Yeah.
like 6,000 max. You know what? I don't know, but yeah,
You
okay.
you're going to donate that much money?
No, that's
Holy
what I said.
crap.
I need the rules.
All right, get out of our studio for
All
crying
right.
out loud.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, Steve and Cindy Johnson. Whether you like the answers about the lights or not, it's really cool to have them on and to see the turtle like that, dear. It was
Special treat.
Yeah, it was. We need to tell you about In the Dark here because Fred has arrived. About don'titchit.com, the all-natural bug repellent spray. It's 100% essential oils. It's DEET-free, and you know when the rain stops, it's going to get hot and humid, and that means bugs. So you're going to spray yourself with bug spray from don'titchit.com or Island Oils LLC. And real quick, tell your story for anyone that might have missed it when you were on the water and the bugs attacked you.
I wasn't on the water. I was hiking in
You
the
were-
swamp.
that's
and
right.
It worked fantastic.
Excellent. You can always tell when she wants to go home and be done with the show because an hour and a half is just a little bit too long.
It's too long.
I could have gone 2 hours today talking to those
No
guys.
kidding.
All right, dear, you can exit stage left, and I will finish up with this commercial. You can buy the this great smelling bug spray. It's not really bug spray; it's bug repellent. It's DEET free. It's like perfume. You spray it on, and you attract the other sex, or the same sex, if whatever you do, whatever floats your boat. It's available at Bait and Wait, Snook Hut, and Bait and Tackle. For goodness sake, and when available at the Lighthouse Island Resort. Make sure you tell them that Kim's fabulous story sent you down there to buy it. And you know what, folks? Enjoy the weather. Whatever you do this weekend, we will be back. Don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter at beachtalkradionews.com. It comes out for free Tuesday and Friday. And we'll be back next Saturday. We're working on Colonel Kelly, everybody, from the Army Corps of Engineers. We're working on a doctor from Ohio State University to talk about the Rona. So we have a lot of irons in the fire, and we'll let you know about it on the Facebook page. So have a great weekend. Bye-bye.